Bruce Buffer here, and we're being broadcast around the world. Thanks everyone for joining us on the Solar Objections live action role play. I have the pleasure to introduce a big UFC fan, fellow poker player, Solar Pro, and my friend, Solar Joe.
Thanks, Bruce. Once again, we are back for another live stream on the Solar Objections live action role play. And we have one of my favorite people in the solar industry, Danny Pessy, in the house. I mean, this guy is an improv comedian, a master door knocker, a master alarms, now in solar, Rockstar, Knockstar co-founder. This guy's one of the coolest people I know, one of the funniest guys I know. Danny Pessy, thanks for being here, man.
I'm a magician, Joe. Look at that.
How do you do that, bro?
Dude, a lot of experience. Trust me, I have a lot of time on my hands. A lot.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro. I see what you've been doing and how busy you are. Everybody watching right now, if you are happy Danny Pessy made some time for us, go put in the comment section, let's go, LFG, thanks. And take the opportunity right now, ask him some questions you wanted to ask him. Maybe throw an objection out there that you don't think he may not be able to handle. But if you guys want your name shown, make sure you go to the bottom of the post, click on the StreamYard link, and give us permission to show your name. It'll just say Facebook user. You don't want that, all right? So today we have Danny going to do a little bit of a different thing this week, random objections, in-depth, kind of go over some different ways to handle it together. So Danny, are you ready?
Dude, hit me with it, Joe. What is up, man?
Let's go.
Solar Objections, man. Excited to have you guys here watching live, wherever you're watching from, Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea, man. I got love for you, man. Hopefully you guys get some good value from today. I'm excited to jam with you, Joe.
So I got some objections ready to go, but I want to kind of jump in the comments real quick before we start. Facebook user said, as soon as it gets on here.
I think that was me, Joe. I definitely said, oh, snap.
All right. Love that Bruce intro, Peter Roth.
Big Peter, what's up, man?
You know Peter. Jose Hernandez, sun shining. Casey Lopez, let's go.
Dude, that's my bathroom cigar brother right there.
Yeah, cigar brother. And that Preston Street, let's go. All right. So let's do that. Let's go. All right. So we're just going to go over some objections. We're not going to probably do too much of a role play, but just kind of tell us why you answer in a certain way, what things you do that other people kind of learn from. Okay. So let's just go with the first one I see here. Nothing is free. So you have that homeowner who is like, you know, Danny, I heard about that, but I don't believe your scams. Nothing is free. How do you respond to that?
So before I break into what I say with my mouth, I'm going to go through what I think first. So when I hear an objection, a lot of times reps, they get super all negged out that they think a customer, because they're hearing objections, means they don't want to go forward with it. So when I hear an objection, the first thought that I have is I'm actually the opposite. I'm very thankful they're paying attention and they're giving me something to work with. So number one, changing your thought process on when you start hearing objections right off the bat is really going to help you when you start hearing them, because a lot of rookies, when they get into this job, they start getting rejections, and customers can feel their energy deplete right when they hit them with it. Perfect example. Some guy knocked on my door and I was just shit testing him, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to this." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not interested." And he was like, "Oh, dude, all right, man. Thanks, see ya." And I was like, whoa, bro, get back here, dude.
Can't give up like that.
Yeah, and so understand first off the bat, and what Peter's talking about is complaints are different than objections, because that's very true. You have to know the difference when people start complaining and doing those certain things. And so for me, I like hearing complaints and I like hearing objections, because that means they're paying attention to what I'm saying. Do you know how hard it is to get people's attention these days and for them to listen to us?
So hard.
Very difficult. So first, when I hear that they're giving me objection, that means they're paying attention and listening. Then nothing is free. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, they understand I'm making an offer, and then that they see it's valuable, they want it, and now they're like, wait a second, this sounds too good to be true. I don't understand why it's free. So those are the things that go through my mind right off the bat before they say it. So that when I hear it, I'm first off have a good positive attitude, like, oh man, dude, sorry, Joe, I might not have explained it very well. We're actually doing something a little different. You've probably heard in the past that solar costs a lot of money, and now that we have a new program where you put nothing down, it sounds like it's a little too good to be true. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
So what the first thing I do is I sympathize with the customer. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I totally understand why you think that way. And this is different than what I say on the doors and at the table. So I'm going to pretend this is, on the doors or at the beginning of the process, because if they were going down the process a little bit more, I'm going to handle it differently. But at the beginning, I'm going to really make sure that I address their need, because people want to feel heard. So when you let them know what they're thinking, oh, this sounds too good to be true. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. And then they're going to be more likely to listen to what you have to say for that. The difference is with solar, and the reason why now people can pay it is they wrap it up into a payment plan, where instead of you paying your electricity bill, you can redirect the same payment for solar panels, and the panels are cheaper. And why the panels are cheaper is because the government is actually going to incentivize you to get these things. And so that's why you're able to get something like this at less or even the same as what you're currently paying. And so the reason why people are going this route, and then I'll explain the deal a little bit more. So you have to paint a picture to them and explain them on why it's paid for. Nothing is free, correct? But we just taking the payments that you're currently paying and putting them somewhere else. And so then now, Joe, after explaining how you're not actually paying anything out of pocket, does it make sense now why you're not having to shovel out any money to get this thing done? Because companies now can do loans for you?
Got it. Makes sense now.
Perfect. And then why are the loans cheaper than why is the loan so affordable now?
Because I'm taking the money I'm already spending. It's going to pay for the loan.
Got it. And who's helping you pay for that loan?
The money I'm already spending, so the utility is helping me pay for it.
Yeah. And then when you get that tax credit, the tax credit's going to help you pay for it too. That's why it's such a good deal.
Oh, and the government's helping me out too.
And the government, yes. And so then I'll explain. This is a really good line that you guys really want to do. This is what I've been testing on my team with and some of my students. So, Joe, let me ask you a question here. When you run a stop sign and a police officer sees you, what happens?
He pulls me over.
And what do you get when you get pulled over for doing that?
I get a ticket.
Why do you get a ticket?
Because he caught me.
Got it. He caught you. And then when you break the rules, what do tickets cost you?
$200-$300 probably.
A couple $100. You have to pay a fee when you break the rules, correct?
Yep.
So if you break the rules, you have to pay a fee because you broke them. What's the opposite of breaking the rules?
We're going by the rules.
Going by the rules, and they incentivize you.
Mm.
So if solar was a bad idea, or this program was bad, why would the government incentivize you to do it? If it was bad, wouldn't they punish you?
No, you're right. That makes sense.
It does. So that's one of the most powerful things that I could do, especially with nothing is free. I explain to them why, so they understand it. Then I start asking questions so that he can get a lot more valuable information.
That's perfect. Yeah, agree with them. Like, yeah, you're right. Nothing is free. And this is one of those things, but we do have options. So let's make sure you know all your options before you make a decision which one's the best one.
Exactly. Bang, bang. And so my agenda here today is for you guys watching this. You're going to hear a lot of people overcome the same objections multiple ways. I want to give you some of the stuff that you haven't heard, so you have new tools that you can be like, oh, shoot, I just heard that. Again, I don't know if anyone's heard the car analogy that I just dropped, because I've been using that with customers. Hits it out of the park every single time. So I want you guys to get, some new content from this.
That's awesome, man. We got more comments, man. We got people jumping in, so I want to make sure we get to them. We got James Altieri said, first seek to understand and seek to be understood. Nice questions. Have them to tell you.
Yep.
Andrew Hamlin said, "Danny boy, beast of beasts."
Dude, up there in Maine, bro. He got his first install in Maine by in-house. Great job, Andrew, dude.
Congratulations, Andrew. Great job. And Facebook user, great open-ended questions, promotes engagement. So let's get to the next one here. Next objection is, My real estate agent friend said solar makes it hard to sell my house. I'm
Yeah.
sure you heard that a couple of times.
Good, of course. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, let me ask you this. How much in depth did you go into finding out why she said that?
She
First,
just
ask
told me
a
it was,
question. Get
they just told me it's hard. Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you were asking me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first off, ask a question right off the bat. Seek more information. Reps, as soon as they hear objections, they want to go bah, 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 rebuttal. Have a talk with the guy. So really, what information? What did she tell you that made it feel like it would be hard to sell your house?
Yep,
did she explain how that works? And
No.
then no, she didn't explain. Yeah, and so just so you know, ma'am, like solar's relatively new on terms of people purchasing it. It's been around for a long time, and there's a lot of misconceptions with solar. And so what ends up happening is real estate's job, do you know where they make their money? They make their money selling a house, right, Joe?
Yep.
So anything that makes selling a house harder, do you think they want to deal with it?
Probably not.
Exactly. Because the thing is, they want to make their commission. And if anything gets in the way of that, that makes it harder, that they have to do more research on, naturally they don't want to do. So I can totally understand why your friend would say that, because she wants to make it as least common as possible, at least intrusive as possible to sell the house. But there's a lot of misconceptions with it. The cool part is that this payment can be transferred directly to the customer. Where it gets tricky is the person moving in doesn't have a good credit score, they don't qualify for the loan, and then the previous homeowner gets stuck with it. But as long as you know this going forward, then you know what you're getting into, so you're prepared when you sell the house. And let me tell you this, Joe, me and you live in California. Do you know what California is mandating homes, the percentage of homes that need to have solar in the next 30, 40 years?
What is it?
They require 50% of homes to get their electricity via renewable source, via renewable energy. And so right now it might seem like a hiccup getting solar, but it's only a matter of time before everybody has it. And especially if you're going to buy a home and that customer doesn't want solar, why would that client buy a home with solar if they don't like it? It's the same thing. If you don't want to buy a house with a pool, you're not going to shop houses with pools. So I wouldn't make that big of a deal. And that's why if you could save some money now, get some tax credits and save the world while you're at it, why not? And then redirect to the next part of the process.
So Eric Eth had a question. He said, what was that analogy?
There was a couple of analogies. Probably
yeah,
I do a lot of analogies. So,
yeah, me too.
So it's the best way to get people to learn, because understanding clients, like we all grew up in the school system. We all grew up learning a certain way. And before written words, before schools, we all learned from stories. And that's one of the best ways humans learn, is by telling stories. And if you can tell relatable stories, people think of images in their mind. So later, when a client tells you, I need to think about it, they've already thought about it because I've done a good job painting that analogy in their mind. And so the car analogy, Eric, so to answer that, this is a great one for you guys, is I compare, if customers are skeptical about solar, I use the analogy of a car running a stoplight. So if a car runs a stoplight and a cop sees it, what happens? You get a ticket, right? If you get a ticket, how much do you have to pay? So is it fair to say if you break the rules, you have to pay money, you pay a fee? Well, Mr. Customer, let me ask you the opposite. What if you follow the rules? What happens? You get rewarded. So if you follow the rules, if the government's telling you this is a good idea, they're going to reward you. I think I'm going to trust the government more than your real estate friend. No offense, but I mean, I don't want to go on a rant on trusting the government. I know that's a sensitive subject right now for a lot of people.
That's a whole other topic we'll get into.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome, man. So we'll just get right into the next one. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a big popular one I hear a lot is, I don't want any more debt.
Yeah, understand. And so that's the thing, sir, is debt usually has a bad connotation behind it. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on getting any big purchase in the future that would require you to utilize your debt to income ratio at all?
Oh, I already have 2 loans on my cars and then a mortgage. I just don't want to have more debt.
Got it. And let me ask you this. What was the main reason why you took loans out on those things?
Because I don't want to take taxes everywhere, and I don't want to rent a house.
Got it. So you don't like the idea of renting and taking taxes on certain things, correct?
Of course not.
Well, the thing is most people didn't realize this, but right now, not only are you renting your power, but you're paying a huge fee to rent it. And so when it comes to debt, there's good debt and bad debt. And debt in general has a really bad reputation behind it. I think I lost you, Joe. Am I ripping? Can you hear me?
You're back. You're good.
Okay. So yeah, debt usually has a really bad connotation behind it, but understand that there is difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is buying a Ferrari. Good debt is buying an asset that will make you money. When was the last time you took out a debt and made money off of it?
Yeah, not often. Usually I'm upside down on it next year.
Exactly. But you like the idea of ownership, because why would you rent your car forever?
Oh, my house is worth more money than I bought it for.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, right now you're renting your power. This is the first time you can own your power source and pay less for it ever. And realistically, when you move into the home, if you had a choice to take debt out for owning your own power that eventually had an end date, so when you paid it off, the fee was gone, or renting your power for the rest of your life and they could raise the rates on you whenever they wanted, if you had to pick between the two, which one have you rather gone for?
I want to get as much as my money as possible.
Damn right, man. So I'm going to show you here in a second with this proposal why it makes sense to go into debt to get something like this.
You're going to spend money either way. So what are you getting in return for that money, right?
Dude, Joe, baby. Tag team some customers, man.
Let's go. All right. So the next one is when there's a lot of homeowners are older, because to get in business of home ownership, you usually have to be older. So a lot of the times I hear that they're 60, 70 years old, and they think solar's for young pups. Oh, yeah. I'm too old to go solar. How do you handle that?
This is the Pessy special right here. So if you're doing, I really enjoy doing PPAs and with senior citizens and markets that have it. So I'll go into the PPA and tell them how, hey, this is a new program that's different, designed for seniors that don't need to rely on taxable income. And so I'll go that route for PPA. But since a lot of people are out here doing loans and explaining it, I'll really go into the value of ownership and everything that they're doing, and tell them, look, realistically, ma'am, you've had rented your power and you've never had a chance to own it before. And if the payment's going to be at about a wash, it's most people would rather prefer to have it on the roof rather than continue to rent for the rest of their life. And so for you, do you have any taxable income? And then I'll start asking them questions. And then the biggest thing for seniors, and off topic, is predictability and peace of mind. I'll then dive into the peace of mind knowing that they've got a fixed payment forever, because I'll dive back into my presentation. Joe, I know you're on a fixed income, but the thing is the only thing that's not fixed is your electricity bill. It goes up and down every single month. And if you're on a fixed income and they keep raising your rates, they're not raising your retirement, are they?
They're taking it away.
Exactly. And so that's the thing, is this is your only bill that is variable, that goes up and down depending on how much you use it. And that's why a lot of my clients that are above the ages of 60 to 65 prefer to get something at a fixed rate, because it provides them with more peace of mind, knowing that they know what their bill is every month and they can budget accordingly. And so the thing is, Joe, like, I know you tell me you're too old to go solar, but man, there's no way you're a day older than 50. You got to get your license, young man. Let me see that thing. And then throw a little joke at it.
Hey, so I got more comments we're going to get in here. We got Shane Colwell making a happy face. Andrew said, spitting straight fire. Thanks, Danny. Herschel Hudson, Trey, the Scanty Warrior.
The Scante Warrior, yes.
Scante Warrior.
Yes, I am one of the Scante Warriors.
Albert Varela said, world-class training. Let's go.
Homie.
We are not done yet, baby. Danny is giving us his time, and we're going to go through some more objections. And I'm going to get some here that we usually don't really get into, because it's hard to bring up some of these objections. But this one comes up randomly. When you just keep getting a homeowner who says no, is not really following along your process and your steps, what do you do in that situation? How do you get them on board the yes train?
So in my mind, there's three things that I look for when I'm trying to build value with the customer. Number one is, if you're trying to get your point across and build value, you're going to tell them something. Number two is you're going to use the neighbors or use a third-party reference or a story to get that point across. And then the third thing you want to do, or third option that you could do to get your point across, is then ask them questions to get them to open up. So if you're asking customers questions and they're telling you no, then that doesn't really make any sense. They have to continually open up. If you ask them a question and they tell you no, 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 and it's not answering your question, like, sir, how long have you been here? No. Do you own the home? No. Do you have a family? No. Is this your house? No. Then if they're being stupid like that, I'm going to dip. I'm going to go to the next house and just go to the next one if they're being dumb. So understand the most valuable thing that you have is your time with quality customers. So if there is a client that's just being ridiculous and not listening to any you're saying and saying that you're saying and is just saying no, 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 skip it. Just go to the next house, next client. So don't even stress about it. And then if you are engaged with it, but they're like, no, I don't want to do it, go into investigation mode. Take off your sales hat, put on your detective hat, and start asking them questions. Joe, I'm sure you have a really good reason for saying no. If you don't mind me asking, what is it?
I've just been hearing this over and over again. I'm just wanting to close my door, man.
Got it. Let me ask you this, Joe. Why do you think people keep coming to your house?
They're just trying to get my money.
Okay. Well, have you looked into solar much or kind of know how it works?
Nope.
Got it. So if I was able to show you why most people are coming by your house so that you understand, we can go into a little bit more. But before I take off, let me just show you. Can I show you really quick outside your house? The reason why everyone keeps stopping by your home, come look at your roof. So what I'll do, I'll bring them outside and point to the roof. You've got a south-facing roof. You have a beautiful home for solar. That's why people are going to keep stopping by. And realistically, like, Joe, I know it's getting annoying hearing all these people, but there's a reason why everybody's doing it. And if I had 5 minutes of my time, I promise you, if you hear how this works, you would do it too as well. I need 5 minutes to show you the numbers. If the numbers make sense, I promise you'll do it. And if not, I promise to never come back here and bug you. Does that sound like a good deal?
If you could promise to get those guys to stop coming here, yeah, let's make a deal.
I will post out front of your house with a squirt gun and a fart machine and just get rid of all those solicitors.
All right, man. If you really think it's worth my time, I got 5 minutes.
Yeah, great. And then I'll dive into it.
Awesome, bro. I got some more comments here. We got I think I got a question here. Let me see, make sure I read it before I put it up there. All right. So we got an objection kind of here. If there is no PPA, how do you sell a 25-year loan to someone over the age of 65 that's interested but has concerns on the loan term and have no tax credits?
Perfect. So fixed payments, predictability, peace of mind. Seniors like peace of mind. Renting's cheaper. To buy a house sometimes costs more money. People will pay more for ownership. And so even if they don't get the tax credits, that's still not the main reason why people don't get solar. If you can build enough pain in the raising rates, inflation, the flexibility of their prices going up, and you can really hammer the feature of, hey, this payment's locked in. It never goes up on you for the rest of your life. You know exactly what your payment is. You will feel much better. And those customers will buy that more than the savings that you're allegedly trying to save them. Because people forget, like, when I sell, the savings just happens to be the cherry on top. If you do it right, the peace of mind, the ownership, all of those things are super, super important to customers, and don't sleep on that. If you're selling off savings, you're really not selling. You're just giving a bunch of random information. Like, that's amateur stuff. Like, the savings that customers get should be the icing on the cake. And if you're not really hammering in on the predictability of the payments, that prices keep going up and up. Perfect example, look at gas. If you could buy gas from 20 years ago compared to now, what would you tell yourself?
Should have bought it.
If gas was $2 a gallon 20 years ago, I guarantee you $2.50 for the rest of your life. And we fast forward to today where gas is $4 to $5 in California. How happy would you have been with your investment?
What side of the street do you want to be on? As I always tell the homeowners.
That's it. 100%.
Fire. Jeremy tells us perfect transition. All right, bro. A couple more objections, then maybe we could do a quick Q&A. I don't want to take too much of your time, man.
Sorry, my mom's getting pissed, bro. Joe, she's yelling.
You in her basement again, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I get this one sometimes where the homeowner like wants the quote, but doesn't want to deal with me or deal with the solar pro. They just want the numbers.
Yeah.
So when you're in a situation like, you know what, Danny, just email me the quote, man.
Yeah. So I would then first off say absolutely. Now I then go into questions. So if this is like a complaint. So I don't go into too much about this. I'll start asking him questions. Hey man, I know you're super busy. Like solar isn't like a car where you can mail like every car is the same and you just decide what body style you want. It's very customizable. And the thing is, as a responsible salesman, I can't do that to you because if I misquote your system or I don't give you enough or I give you too much, you're going to get screwed and give solar a bad reputation. So I know you're busy, but I promise you, you give me a couple minutes, I'll make it make sense to you so you can go on to get something that's more important to you. So when you nail them with that, like makes good sense. Like guys, this isn't like buying a car. You can't go shop me and then go across the street and see what somebody else has. It's all customizable. It doesn't work that way. And so like if you're going to be dismissive on how this works, then here's my phone number. When the person misjudges you or the person gives you too small of a system and you need to double your size, here's my number and I'll be sure to double charge you for wasting my time. So I won't hit it with that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my approach. If they're not going to respect my time and dismiss me like that, hey, next, see ya. Because they're trying to cut corners.
Yeah, I'll even just say, I'll email the quote after we talk.
Yeah,
let me do the talking first, then I'll email it to you. How's that sound?
Yeah, after I find out what you need, man. I can't just quote you something. 100 grand. Give me 100 grand. We'll make it work. What? Oh, yeah. No, like I said, let's figure this out. Send me your bill.
We got some more fans. Love it, bro. Facebook user. I agree. Sell without the incentive showing. Tax credit is the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you got to say next.
Yeah. Guy, and that's the thing, guys. Like respect yourself and respect your time. Don't be afraid if you only have one lead in a day. And the reason why you were trying so hard with that customer is because you don't have any more leads. If you had 1,000 people to call and you had a customer who's being ridiculous, next, who cares? I knock doors. So if I need to go freaking find somebody that's going to listen to me, next, gone, boom, 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 boom. Next. It's fine. Some will, some won't. So what? The reason why people have reluctancy and they grasp so hard onto customers is because they don't have more people to talk to.
I got two more objections, but I got another comment that came in. Lisa Manson said, Danny, you are so authentic and confident. Love your posture and taking control of the objections.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right, bro. So I got two more objections that are popular objections that everybody hears every day. So these are the ones I wanted to kind of go over. So this one is, I need to think about it. I appreciate all your time. Great information. You know, you're great. Give me a card. And then I need to think about it, though.
Dude, perfect. I love this one. Guys, this is great because this gives you great feedback. If you go back and look and scroll back to the couple nuggets that I dropped, the 3 ways to paint pictures in customers' minds. You tell them what to think. Typically, that doesn't go too well. 2 is you use stories, previous customers. You use anecdotes to get the customer to think about your offer. And then if you ask them questions and they tell you the answer, they have then thought about it. So my whole presentation is designed to get the customer to tell me why they need solar. I ask the right questions because if I ask the right questions, it pops up an image in their mind, they vocalize it, and they say it. They think about it. So if you're getting, they need to think about it, you've done a bad job at engaging with your clients, and you need to ask more questions. That's it.
100%. I get this every time when I get to the numbers too quick. You were like right on the dot. Every single time when I get the numbers too quick, they always come back to the same one. Thanks, Joe. That was awesome. I need to think about it. It's really taking your time with your presentation, pulling out all those objections early, so at the end they have nothing to think about, right?
Yes. And then the last thing to think about too is when they say they need to think about it, that number one, you've done a bad job at painting images in their head, but more importantly, you've done a bad job at building pain. People buy because of 2 reasons, because they love something or it solves a problem. If they love solar, they'd have already bought in it, so you're wasting your time. if it's solving a big enough problem, people will do it. If my car's out of gas, I will drive to a gas station and fill it up because it's a problem. Because if not, I have to walk. And you know me, I don't like doing that, especially when it's 110 unless it's door to door. So number one is making sure that you build enough pain and telling them stories. So, sir, let me ask you this. Joe, do you know how old the grid is? The grid that gets the power from Edison or SCE to your home?
100 years or something? I don't know.
130 years old. Now, let me ask you this. Is anything over 130 years old, do you think it requires a lot of maintenance to keep it maintained?
Probably needs a defibrillator.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty expensive. Now, if you were the utility company, would you take money out of your savings account in your stock portfolio's investments and pay to maintain it, or would you pass those charges onto the customers?
Have the customers pay? Why not?
Ah, there you go. So, Joe, with that logical statement, what do you think your bill is going to be doing over the next couple of years?
It's going to keep going higher and higher. I know that.
So, Joe, let me ask you this. If PG&E came to your door today and said, hey, we have a new promotion going on. For 25 years, we're going to lock in your rate, never goes up on you. And if you don't miss a payment, after 25 years, we'll take that payment away completely. What would you tell PG&E?
I'd be like, let's go.
You do it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So then imagine 5 years later, you hear a knock on the door. You're like, oh, crap, who's this? You go outside, you open the door, it's PG&E. You're like, oh, shoot, what did I do now? They're like, hey, Joe, sorry about that other program. We're going to have to switch you back to time of use. We're going to raise the rates on you whenever we want to. If we have a forest fire and we kill a bunch of people, guess what? We're going to raise your rates. And that whole thing, after 25 years, it goes away. Sorry, we're going to keep raising the rates on you till forever. What would you tell PG&E after 5 years of having that other plan?
I'm not going in. I'm keeping my system. What do you mean?
Exactly. So if you guys notice what I just did there, I just got Joe to subconsciously agree to the concept of solar and built enough pain in his current system that he would tell PG&E to kick rocks.
Actually, yeah, I just told you that.
And then when you go to the closing table and you hit him with that, you're not going to need to think about it. They already thought about it. They just told me they don't want that old situation. They told me that 25 years with the payment going away was a better decision. It's done. Get your checkbook, Grandma.
Get the checkbook, Grandma. You got some more comments, bro? Kevin Pham said, fire. Peter Brunwasser said, love that truth. Subby Lucero said, fire. All right, we got a question from Greg Robles. What about new built homes objection? We want to see how much we use for an entire year first.
Yeah, I had that too. So, sir, that's not really how solar works. We can get a really, really close idea of how much power people can use by how many people are living in there and some questions that we have to kind of guide you where we want to go. And so that's the cool part, is you don't have to wait a year to find out exactly how much you use, because unfortunately there is deadlines and there's tax credits that go involved. So with solar, it is kind of one of those things. It's the longer you wait, the more it costs. So I can show you a couple options. You can see which one's best for you, and we can make a decision on what would be best for your family. But yeah, don't worry, Greg. You don't have to wait for a year to find out about this. I'll take good care of you.
Exactly. I like to focus on what's the minimum amount of electricity you're going to need in the next year. Let's focus on that, and we can always add another system later on.
Yeah.
And Facebook user said, I love that. So great to ask how old the grid is. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah. And build the pain, guys.
Go ahead. What?
Build the pain. That's it. People don't know. The thing is, solar sales reps, like, since I sold alarms, like, going into solar has been the easiest thing ever. And so with security, you had to build emotional pain in people to go from paying $0 a month because they don't think they're going to get broken into, to paying to $50 to $100 a month to protect themselves against something that might not ever happen. And so the thing is, with solar, guys make it such a big deal, and they don't realize you still have to tell a story and explain to them the pain. And so you have to build pain in their current system, in their current situation, for them to get them to do anything. So make sure you take the time to do that, or you're going to be stuck.
I love it, man. I got one more objection, and it's a wild card one. I want to have one little wild card objection at the end here. Eric Heath said that was great. Greg Robles said solid. All right, last objection. This is the one that's a wild card that get once in a blue moon, but I wanted to see how you would handle it. So you had your presentation, you did everything, solid close, and then right at the last second, they say, thanks, Danny, but we need to pray about it.
Okay. So first off, anytime you're getting objections after your close, that means you didn't do a good enough job praying about it. Because I've been in customers' homes where they said, I feel like Jesus has sent you to my house and answered my prayers. So if you get it hard enough, people will do it. And think about this objection, like, realistically, next week, what are you having for dinner at Thursday night? You don't even know. You're going to pray about it? No. You're just going to go out and do it. And if you've made this such a seamless and easy transition, such an easy process, people typically won't say that. And so that's why if I hear these weird little objections, it always comes down to building enough pain in their current situation. If there's so much pain in their situation, you will look like a savior and you will feel like the Messiah coming to save them from the utility company.
Yeah, 100%. This is not a real objection, probably. It's probably one that didn't get to what they're ready to say yes yet. And it's a way to get you out of the house, right?
Yeah, it's a big one. And then on the other thing too is like, sir, I understand you want to pray about it, but realistically, when it comes down to it, like if Jesus was here talking to you right now, where would he rather get your power source from? From the sun that he gave you for free, or digging up dinosaur bones in Texas and shipping it to a power plant and creating nuclear fusion? Like,
that's great.
Like, sir, like, let's be realistic here. Like, what would he choose?
The more you learn about your homeowner, the more ammunition you have to help them go solar with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That was awesome, man. We got some comments here. We'll do one more objection, but I came in late. How can I hear this from the beginning? It's going to be saved to go into the group, and it'll be there safe for you to watch the replays. And then Facebook user said, let's pray right now. Father, thank you for bringing me here today to take care of these beautiful people. Yep. All right, I got one more comment for our objection. Oh, they keep coming in, these comments. Have a come to Jesus meeting. Love it. Tyler put T-Rex, the king, I'm guessing. All right, so objection. Last one we got from a Facebook user says, I want to shop pricing. Last one.
Love this. Love this. So I want to shop pricing. So when I get that in my presentation, how I explain this, I tell the customer, look, I'm a broker. I don't care what type of panels, who installs them, how it works. I get paid when panels go on your roof. So my job is I shop around to see what's the best offer for you. And I put it together and I can get the cheapest thing with the best quality on your roof as soon as possible. So my job is to do all of that for you. So unfortunately, when it comes down to solar, it's not like a car where you go to a Toyota dealership and you drive across the street and look at Ford, and then you go down and look at Maserati. Everyone sells pretty much the same thing. They get these panels from China, they ship them over here, they assemble them here, say they're made in America, relatively speaking, and put them on your roof and you save money. It's not that big of a deal. And the most important thing is who can get them on the roof the fastest and get you the best quality for the best price. And for me, the cool part is I have multiple options for panels that we can do. And guess what? I pin them against each other to get their prices to go down cheaper. So this way I'm the guy that's helping you do it. I'm like a insurance agent. I don't care which ones you get. You want Korean made panels, Chinese made panels, USA assembled panels, doesn't matter to me. Let's find you the best deal and get it going. And I understand you want to get the best price, but also you want to get this done right with someone you can trust. And that's where I'm going to come in here and help you out.
Yeah, Zaga says, somebody says, I want to shop pricing. Like, perfect. I'm the perfect person to help you. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it. You think it. And when you bring, and if you bring that up first, and explain to them, and I'm educating the customer on how solar works, because a lot of times these guys don't know, they don't care. Like, bro, they're working, they have a life, they're worried about soccer practice. Like, what time soccer practice night, Billy's game, does he have oranges? And like, do you think they really want to shop price? Like, no, they're busy, they don't care. Make it make sense to them why they should do it now. And if you build enough pain, they're not going to shop. They're going to buy it.
Last one, bro. I promise you, last one. But Eric Heath had to throw one last one in here. I'm going to move in a year or two on the door.
Perfect. So we have a program specially designed for people that are going to be moving in a year or two. But the thing is when you do have them move, sometimes people, when they move in, they're going to need to add more solar panels to the system they got. Now, what I want you to do is after we get you set up, promise me you'll give them my card so I can sell them more. Will you do that for me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. I'll show you the program here. You have one of your electricity bills hanging around?
I have to go get it.
Dude, good, man. I've been working on my tan, so go grab it. I'll chill out here and smoke a cigarette.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I
Boom.
come in? Oh, sweet. Thanks.
Come on in.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You probably get a lot of people inviting you in the house, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you look the part, you know, I'm clean shaven. I look good. I dress good. I always tuck my belt in, tuck my shirt in. I look super, super clean, very professional. So I show up to the door. They know I'm not just some, you know, methed out magazine dude. I'm there to make a deal, and I'm professional. And if you're on meth and you're selling magazines, I'm sorry.
You're offending people, bro.
Offending our methed out magazine salesman. So send me a message. I apologize. I'll make it up to you. I'll buy a magazine if I've offended you.
Yo, bro, you're giving so much of your time already, but I just want to ask you a few questions. You have a few more minutes?
I sure do, man. Mom, I'll be right back. Shut up.
Come on, Mom.
So
Solar Pro Q&A. Let's go. So Jeremy Wicks wants to throw in here comments. Fire. Bro, you have so many fans. How do you deal with all your fans out there, man?
Well, dude, I mean, the thing is like why I think people resonate with me because they've seen my journey. I've lived in a suitcase for the last 13 years. Like I talk the talk and I've done it. Like I've sacrificed everything. So right here, like the shirt, streetlights over spotlights. So I've literally spent my entire life, 13 years going door to door so that when I like tell people something, it comes from experience. I've sacrificed a lot to be here to be able to deliver to you guys. Like there's a lot of gurus and there's a lot of people out here that sell coaching that haven't done it. Like I've literally given everything my whole entire life. I gave up comedy and we'll go into that in a little bit, but I've sacrificed everything. I'm not married. Like I've given everything to this job and people can feel that like I'm a real dude. I'm not full of shit. Like this is just who I am. And so, you know, I've sacrificed a lot. So when I say stuff, people know it comes from the heart and they know I put in the work. So that's why they listen. And that's, you know, my humble opinion on why. And, you know, I try to do a good job of entertaining and not showboating. I, you know, have a little fun, you know, being a show off here and there, but you know, it's just, you know, I'm having fun, man. And this is just who I am. And, you know, I wanted to live a certain lifestyle and my dreams didn't pan out the way I thought they would be. So the new life that I've created, I'm trying to live it as much as I want to create it myself. And so,
well, thank you, man. It's a perfect segue for my first question because now that you're here, man, the spotlight's on you, right? Yeah. So how do you handle that pressure when you like speak on stage or when you're in front of the crowd? Like, you know, sometimes you have to always, you know, be ready for the moment.
Yeah. So I feel that a lot of times people get nervous because they have some insecurities in themselves and they don't feel worthy and they don't feel like people will like them or believe in their message. And for me, I've had to do a lot of therapy and coaching to fall in love with myself because my last name's Pessy. And I bet you can imagine how much tormenting and bullying I got picked on and growing up quite a bit. And so over the years, I really beat myself up. But as I've gotten more mature and I've gotten some help, I've really found ways to fall in love with myself and find ways that I'm super happy with who I am. So that when I go on stage, I know that it's coming from the heart and I'm not just talking out of my ass because I've done the work. And so when I go speak on stage, I sell myself on, hey, Danny, you're worthy. These people love you. Like these people want guidance. You've spent your life doing this. Like you have a meaningful message to give to these people. Go give it to them. And, you know, it gives me that confidence. So when I do speak on stage, it helps. And honestly, a lot of the time, like that where I got polished on speaking on stage was performing in Hollywood. Like I performed for 7-8 years semi-professionally doing improv comedy. I would be on stage with 4 people for an hour with no script, no agenda, and they would give me words and I would make scenes and make people laugh. And so that's where I've been able to handle the pressure from doing that. And then you take that same skill set and apply it on the doors. It's like, dude, all day. Pessy special, baby. Skylar knows what's up.
Yeah, so I got that on the screen there. Pessy special.
That's it.
No, I love it, man, and I can see it. You're definitely a star, and that you brought up your comedic background. Can you kind of go a little more in depth of how that comedic background helped you in your current role as a trainer and as a door knocker?
Yeah. So, and I like talking about this because I had a dream that I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live and I wanted to be a performer. Like some people have gifts. LeBron James, 6'9", can jump out the gym, built like a tank. That's his gift to the world. It's his body and his performance, right? I had a dream to make it to the NBA, but I looked at myself. I'm 6'3", white, 210 pounds, and about the athleticism as a piece of cheese. So unfortunately, I had to get real with what my skill sets were. And so I had to realize what I was good at, that I could make money, and it was the sharpness of my mind. I'm super quick. I'm very, very, like, that's my God gift, is I can see objections, I can see situations and see humor in them in a second. So that was my gift that's my gift God gave me. And so now when I was going into comedy, I wanted to use that because I felt I could make some money doing it, and it brought me joy. I love making people laugh. I love entertaining. And so for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this comedy thing out. And I really, really wanted to be a performer. And so I wanted to be a performer so bad that I needed to come up with thousands of dollars for stage time, to rent out a stage, thousands of dollars for coaching and training. So how could I do that? I don't know. My buddy was living in Utah, came down in 2008 and said, hey, Pess, I'm selling security systems this summer in Washington. You can make $20,000 to $100,000 your first year in the summer. And I'm like, wait a second, what? I can make all that money in the summer and then work the rest of the year doing comedy? Sign me up. I went up there 2008, 2009, and I lived in an apartment with 8 guys in Seattle, Washington, and I had no money, and I slept on the back cushions of the couch because all the beds were spoken for. Were
they all comedians you're living with, or just random?
No, these
people?
are all sales reps. So I left the comedy behind for a summer sales program with Platinum Protection. Got it. And so the whole time I'm up there, not because I wanted to sell security systems, not because I wanted to make $100,000, is because I wanted to be a comedian and I needed money for my shows. Yep. And so I used my goals and ambitions and desires to thrive in the sales industry. And I used something besides money in the job to get me good at it. And so then I started getting really good at it. And all of a sudden in my mind, I'm like, wait a second, I play an actor all the time at school. Why don't I just pretend to be this all-star salesman and just start acting like it? And so then I started doing it, and I started seeing results, started getting deals, started making money. 3 months later, I made $20,000 my first year. And I'm like, holy crap. I went home, I bought uniforms, I bought stage time, and I lived my dream for 8 months until next summer. And I did it again. Yeah. I went from 20,000 my first year to 70,000 my second year as a 20-year-old kid to 110,000 my third year. And then fourth year, in 4 months, I made 350 grand, all selling door to door. And the image and the reason why I was able to do that is because I needed more, because I knew my passion. I wanted to be a comedian. And when I made that threshold of 350 grand, I started to think about it. And I was like, dude, am I really living my dream right now? I'm making all this money. Why don't I just quit? I can sit on it for a couple of years and just go into improv. But then after sitting on it, reflecting on it, I get to go to customers' houses every day and make them laugh. Every person's doorstep is a stage. Every meeting and correlation I run, every recruit that I train is another performance for me. So I looked up 4 years later, I was living my dream. It wasn't exactly how I thought it was. The stage was smaller. I was traveling around the country doing shows door to door. And if they liked my performance, they purchased from me. And I made a killing from it. And then now, I mean, obviously 10 years later, I was able to average that income for 10 years straight. And now that I'm in solar, I'm going to like triple, quadruple it. Thank God for solar, because the commission on these deals are 10x what they were for alarms. And I'm able to live my passion of performing. And so now solar came into my life that now I can do coaching and live stage performances and make more money and spend less time selling and doing what I want, is being on stage and training people and helping people get back. And so with reps watching this, like, what's your performance? What's your goal in life? And if you can't tie selling solar to a goal in life, you're doing it wrong. I've never been more fulfilled in my life after doing what I'm doing right now. I love it. And so that's the biggest thing, is selling, doing a job because it's fueling your passion, and finding that passion in the job. You're not going to find a job and then find your passion. Find the passion, and then the job, you make it work around it.
That's beautiful, man. We got some more fans here. Josh Torres said, love this, fire. I don't know if there's a long comment here. I want to make sure I can read it before I put it on the stage here. But you know what, man? I was curious too about, when you started, in solar, it was only about 3 or 4 months ago in February. You were doing door knocking and alarms.
Yeah.
But I read your bio. I wrote your bio, 60 deals in 3 months. Like, so how do you think you started with so much success in solar, besides just the door knocking? I'm sure you had some other stuff that I'd be able to get you started like that.
So I talk about this in Knockstar, which is my coaching group that I run with my partner, Taylor McCarthy. And the biggest thing that I break it down is the word Knockstar itself. And it's 2 words conjoined at one, knock and star. The first one is knocking. That's what you're doing. Star is why you're doing it. Even though I'm knocking doors selling security, I'm still a star. So if I remove the knocking for security and I switch it with solar, what's still there?
Star.
The star. And the reason why that's so important is because I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing. I know my purpose on this earth. I know my goal is to entertain people and to make people feel good. And by doing that, I sell a service and they pay for it and they get a great service. And so for me, the success has nothing to do with solar. I was already successful. You give me anything, I'm going to crush it. I will crush it. Give me car window wipers, anything. And it's not because I'm that much better than anybody. Everyone has the same skill set that I was born with. It's just how much people are willing to do the work. Who's willing to live in a suitcase for 10 years, traveling city to city, selling door to door, giving up marriage, giving up children.
And being creative and figuring out solutions, right?
That's it. And it's like, I've done a lot of sacrificing. And so my hopes and my goals is I've spent my life living in a suitcase so that you don't have to. I want to give you what I've learned and teach you guys some of the stuff so that you don't have to do that. It sucks. Dude, a lot of my friends are getting married, having kids. Like, honestly, it's been tough, bro. I'd love to do that. And eventually there will be a time, but my mission is to help those guys get the information that took me my whole life to get so that they can live a fulfilling life. They can have kids and family. They shorten the learning curve and they're able to live a more fulfilled life because I paid the cost so I can pass that on to somebody else.
Bro, I know you're on a mission. I can hear it. I hear the passion. But what are your hobbies? What do you do outside of solar? What else is going on? I know I've seen you on the dance floor. You got some moves. But what else do you do, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a basketball player. I love basketball. Like, you can see all my basketball stuff. Like, here's me in high school. Like, I loved basketball, man. Like, that was my sport. And so for me, I'm very clear on what I want. And so in the future, what I really want, 2 things. I want to be able to perform improv comedy on the weekends, and I want to join a men's basketball league. And I want to be able to do that and have enough passive income where I have investments that make me money. And so for me, that's what my life, if I could play in a basketball league and perform improv on the weekends, that would make me happy. And so for me, I'm building my life around that. I'm thinking about, okay, what do I have to invest in to build these dreams? And a lot of reps forget that. They want to get successful at solar. Why?
Make money.
And then they wonder why they're not producing. They wonder why they're not throwing in a bunch of deals. You have to have bigger things to tie into it than just making money and getting results. And also, I'm a pretty competitive guy. I like being talked about. I like throwing down deals. But the thing is, I've had my time in the spotlight. And the Knockstar platform is a platform for me to highlight the next generation of sales reps that are coming through door to door in sales and give them a place to get what they deserve. Our industry does such a hard thing and society shits on us. Society shits on door knockers, but door knockers are the most resilient salespeople, most resilient people in the world, and they're going to lead the future of business in the United States. And I'm a firm believer on that. And I want our platform to be a microphone for them. So I love highlighting guys. I love when people tag me on Instagram after they're getting deals. That is my gift to these guys, is I want to give them a platform for them to shine, because I've done it. I've been, I set record for most security systems sold of all time, top rep in the nation, country. I mean, dude, I've got so many fucking trophies here. I don't even know what to do with it. So, dude, nonstop. That's just half of them. And I don't say that to brag, but it's like, dude, I especially with sales, you want to kind of have someone who knows what the hell they're talking about. It's been there and done that. I've done it. And so that I can come here and pour from a full cup. So many sales trainers and stuff pour from an empty cup because they haven't done the work. I want to pour because I have so much I want to give back to the next generation. And so for me, that's what keeps me going. And that's what gets me on these calls. That's what gets me stepping away from my deals right now to come here and give back to these guys. I'm not getting paid to do this. I just want to come and give back to this next group of guys, because who knows, if someone's watching this, they hear one or two lines that I've said, they say it to a customer, they make a deal, they make a commission that pays for their children's school fund, that pays for donations, charity, it goes towards taxes, all because of something that I've learned and been able to give back. And so that's what keeps me that's what keeps me as my hobby. And my hobby right now is Knockstar. Like I have been pushing so hard to get this, because it's not about me being the brand. It's about seeing guys change their lives, because door to door changed my life. And I hope to do that for other people too as well, and be that catalyst for them. And I think anybody like you, Joe, you're doing the same thing. Like you're giving a gift to these people. You're not getting paid to do this. I'm not. Like at the end of the day, we're all going to die. And at our funeral, who's going to show up?
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it. All the people that I've touched in their lives, if I can help them make money or help improve their situation, maybe they show up to the funeral, maybe they comment on my birthday, wishing me a happy birthday. That means more than money to me, and that's why I push so hard.
Well, I'm definitely going to your funeral if you have a funeral. But before you talk about that, I know you're going to be doing your Knockstar and helping new students, and you really want to focus on them. But what do you see yourself the next 5 years? What's next for you? What do you see yourself?
I see myself consulting, man, speaking on stages, training companies, and teaching 18 to 25-year-old to 30-year-old entrepreneurs what I learned, and helping them find ways to improve their life, finding ways to take what I've learned and apply it to their business, and they get results. I want to show them what I did so that they didn't have to do what I had to do. And so if I can help one guy learn one freaking close, one training, one liner, and they make more money, then my job's done. That's what I want to do. And by me helping enough people, I'll be able to eventually grow my business large enough to have passive income, so I could do that comedy and entertain, go out and perform and train sales reps, and then get back to playing basketball.
Yeah, let me know if you have any improv shows, bro. I am there. I'm going to definitely want to watch one of your shows for sure, bro.
I'd love to, man. I made a deal with myself that I promised myself that I'd get back into it if I worked super hard and got enough passive income to pay for my bills. I go hard when I work.
You never know. It might come full circle, bro.
So maybe it does, but I make a lot of sacrifices, and so you have to make deals with yourself. Live out of balance. I promised myself, hey, I'm going to be out of balance for the beginning of my life so I can have abundance at the end of it. And so for me, I've made that deal, and I know, hey, keep pushing, keep grinding. You're almost there. Keep going. And so, that's what I would say is a big thing that's getting next for me, is I have a bigger platform, sharing with people, training, and helping more guys make more money.
I got one more question for you, but before that, we got a few more comments that came in. Facebook user said, amen. Fire. Edgar Rico said, fire. My brother said, yo.
Is that your brother?
That's my brother. Josh Torres said, thank you, Joe and Danny. This is a blessing. I would love the link to rewatch this performance. The Knockstars events has helped me a ton. What do you say about that, Danny?
Dude, glad, man. It's when you start, you can tell a lot about a person by what they spend their money on. You tell me you want to get better. Let me look at your bank account and what you spend money on. I'll tell you what you value. If you truly value getting better and serving your clients, don't post about it on Facebook. Spend some effing money to get better. Go to an event, pay for some training, help your customers go solar. That's the best investment you can make. So appreciate anyone spending money and helping out there.
Love it. You give an awesome meaning to the scripture. Without a vision, people perish.
Amen. Thank you for that.
Fire. We're almost done, Danny. Thank you, man. Awesome. One of the realest in the game. All right. So once somebody doesn't know who you are or watch the show, said, what's his name? This guy is Danny Pessy. Don't forget it.
Do not misspell it either. You type in my last name on the internet, you ain't coming to me. Let me tell you, you're in a lot of trouble, and I don't take any responsibility if you go to some bad sites.
That'll be a wrong Google search, guys.
Oh yeah.
And then Jeremy Wicks said, respect. Thanks, Joe and Danny. And then one last comment, Lisa Manson back. Thank you, Joe, for bringing Danny to the forum. You guys are a blessing. Thank you, Danny, for sharing your experience and passion. All right, bro. Last question, and I'm going to let you get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, bro. The NBA is coming up to a new season after the summer here, and the Lakers are stacking. Should I bet on the Lakers to win the next NBA championship?
I'd always bet on the Lakers. I'm a diehard Laker fan. Even though I got a Steph thing there, I've been huge. Shaquille O'Neal's my player, so I got a Shaq card with me. Shaq, the reason why I like him so much is because, as you notice, he had life after basketball. He was a comedian, and he lived his life as a professional athlete and still is able to entertain. And so for me, I idolize Shaq because he's doing what I want to do, except for I'm not playing basketball. I'm selling door to door. I want to be an analyst for sales in this industry for a long time. And so for me, I'm a diehard Laker fan, and I'm always betting on him. I was actually at the last Laker game live before they shut it down because of COVID. So love the Lakers, man. Definitely bet on them. Can't go wrong.
All right, it's good to know. Go ahead, Ashley. I know you're a big Lakers fan. A couple of last comments. We got people laughing. And then last Facebook user, it's always a pleasure, bro. Wish I could have caught more. Well, you guys can watch the replay. We'll go into the announcements. Danny Pessy, thank you so much. Last thing, any last thoughts? Anything people want to reach out to you? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram. My tag is Danny_Pessy or Knockstar University. So if you go on Facebook, we have our own group too as well, Knockstar University. We do live streams where we do trainings and stuff like that. Joe, we're going to get you on there too soon as well. So
let's go.
We'll have some fun and jam. So yeah, that's where you guys can find me. And whatever you guys do, be great. Be honored to sell such an amazing product. You guys are investing your time, training, coming up here, learning. Take what you learn here, apply it on the doors. There's more people than just your immediate self that needs your help. You never know if there's someone in your family that needs money or that's going to need your help. And the better the individual that you become, the more people that you can help, and the more people that you can help, the bigger legacy that you leave. And so for me, I hope that I'm leaving a good legacy, and hopefully you guys got some good nuggets from today's jam session. And Joe, I want to thank you and the Solar Academy for having me on. Big fan of you guys and love everything that you're doing, and looking for more collabs coming up. One thing that we do, I would like to shamelessly plug two things. Number one, if you guys do like objections or do handling objections, on our Facebook page, we have our Knockstar objection card. So everything all the objections you get for solar, you can buy them. We sell these cards. Never heard of your company, the Building Emotional Value.
You got to check those out, guys.
They're money. So Joe, we're going to send you some for a couple giveaways. And then also Knockstar's core principles are work hard, play hard, and give back. So this November, we're doing a humanitarian project in Peru. My partner and good friend Taylor McCarthy's wife is from Cusco, Peru, and we're going down there and we're rebuilding an orphanage for small children. And so if you guys would like to get involved with that, we're partners up with the Solar Academy on it. And so Joe, you're coming down, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Heart soft closing you on that one. And then Jake Hess, the boys, we're all going to be down in Peru doing that. So if you guys would like to get involved, shoot me a message. It's going to be a great time. And honestly, one of the best things that we could do is give back to the less fortunate, because we do have such a great situation here in America with not much money we can make, and especially people we can help save money. And, it's being able to give back is one of the ultimate forms of leaving a legacy. And it's called Knockstar Gives Back. And then I think Solar Gives Back is the other website too. So be sure to head over there. Joe, I'll put Solar Gives Back in the comments. And we'd love to see you guys get more involved with the community and showing up. And so appreciate everybody for having me on and those who've tuned in.
That was awesome, man. And we're not done yet. Like next week, we have another Solar Pro. So we got a little exciting. Next week is going to be our 1-year anniversary live stream. And Danny Pessy is going to be able to help us out and give us out some Knockstar cards So next week, Brett Williams is going to be on, who is actually the one who actually inspired the whole idea of the live stream to begin with. So I'm really excited that Brett Williams on the show next week. And Danny Pessy is going to give us some Knockstar cards to give out on the live stream next week. So be there. Danny, you are the man. Thank you so much for your time. We definitely got to collab more, but we are out.
Peace.
Peace.